McCall here, posture princess, lover of music, movement, lover of music, lover of movement. Okay, here's what's going on. We're having a little tech problems, but I am today going to show you how to work with your feet. I have a lot of people having foot problems, and when they have foot problems, they come to me. And I was a barefoot runner and for many years, and I just have a whole bunch of ideas of how to make the foot stronger. It's a huge, huge problem we have today with people not using their feet more. And then we have a lot of problems with plantar fasciitis, fallen arches, needing orthotics. Then that can lead to some knee problems. And I've never looked at the foot as separate from the whole body. Now, this does not have to be laborious. It really doesn't. And it doesn't have to be like the hot new thing you're going to do, like go run barefoot. Those are the two extremes. Actually, when I started being barefoot, I kind of fell into it. I walked my dogs every day barefoot. I lived in Texas. It was doable. And for like 2 to 3 years, I never ran barefoot. I just walked my dogs. And I was fascinated how much better I felt by walking them. Now that could be way too much for you. That you may say, I'm not going out and walking my dogs barefoot. Well, you shouldn't. But my point to this is that you need to start and make it very doable and find out how your feet need to be stronger so that you can benefit through your whole body. Okay? So I'm going to close the door real quick. And I'm going to start in. Here we go. Let me give you a few tips about the feet. Number one is what I have found over years is that people tend to either have fallen arches, which is what I'm kind of demoing right now, or they roll out. And both of them are very, I'm going to say curable, but they're not the end of the world. The next thing also is that a lot of people have very tight ankles, okay? And as you get older, your ankle gets tight. So I'm going to show you something about to do for that. Then I'm going to show you a few things with some shoes that I have. We're going to keep this very simple. We're going to keep it very doable. And I want you to understand the most important thing you can do is just start being barefoot in your home. And if that means that you are just doing a couple of my exercises and getting out of the shower and walking around the bedroom barefoot, and you do this for the rest of your life, you'll be better off. Now, if you have orthotics, it gets a little more complicated. And I do not recommend people getting out of their orthotics and aborting them. No, don't do that. It's a very delicate change. People, a lot of times when they go barefoot too quickly, they get stress fractures, they have more problems. So this is a delicate part of your body that needs to be exposed to the world of the floor, the world of getting stronger because your feet touch the ground. I don't wear gloves all day. I wouldn't want to cover my hands up with gloves all day. I do need to protect my hands if I'm doing certain things, which I do protect my hands and skin as I've gotten older. But in general, I need the sensory input of my hands touching things, feeling things, and that's a whole nother subject, the sensory input. The sensory input of the floor to your foot goes up into your body, and it can literally shift the way you stand, the way you feel, the way you walk, and the way you relate to your body and space. So, am I a big fan of highly supported shoes? You know, like Hoka's? No, I'm not a big fan of them, but my 97 or 96-year-old mother, I think she was 96, when we put her in them, and she loved them. Okay, why wouldn't I if she's happy? I mean, the deal is I'm not an anti-anything. I'm just like, why not do what's best for you in a easy, doable, pleasant way? Why don't we make habits come into our life in a more pleasant way, instead of, diligently thinking, I've got to do this. No, I shouldn't wear these. I should wear these. If you want to wear high heels, wear high heels. My point is, use your feet, because we don't do that a lot. We are very protective of our back, protective of our feet. And the concept of being protective is a real, what do I want to say? It's really going to lead you down a very unhappy road. Don't protect yourself so much. Feet, back, all these things. Think of it as, I'm going to progressively get physically smarter, stronger, and more able to live my life. It's progression that I don't see. People either go one extreme or the other. They either think, I've got to protect my knees, I got to protect my back, I got to protect my feet, so they wear all these things. Or they say, I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to go out barefoot. I'm going to do what I want to do. And this is right and that's wrong and yada, yada, yada. Whatever. Here we go. I'm neither one. All right, so here we go. I'm going to teach you a couple of little exercises for your feet and ankle. I'm going to show you how to build an arch. It's just simple. It's not real hard. It's something that I can teach in standing as well, but right now I'm going to do it in a chair. It's also in my book, The McCall Body Balance Method, Simple Concepts for Ageless Movement, if you want to look at it there. But anyway, here we go. So, I'm going to put this on the floor. What I see so often is, like I said, people's feet fall in, their knees fall in, their arches fall, or they roll out. And they say, well, I can't help it. I do one or the other. Yeah, you can. Watch. So I'm sitting in this chair, and then I have my knees out in front of me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my toes up. I'm going to go a little sideways. Pull my toes up. That's real critical. Pull your toes up. Right there, you're strengthening your feet. If all you did was pull your toes up and let them down, pull your toes up and let them down. Now, I am keeping the ball of my big toe on the ground. Okay? That's the ball of my big toe. Down. Up, down. Just doing that, okay? That's a big deal. You can do that in standing as well. I may do that at the very end. Pull my toes up, put them down. Up, down. Okay, that's one little exercise. Another little exercise, I'm going sideways so you can see the up, down. What you need to understand is that if I pull my toes up and then I let all my toes go down, and this big toe stays planted, and I open my knees, that's hard to keep that planted for many people. It's one of the most powerful little movements I teach. I teach it in standing as well, but right now I want to start in sitting because it's complicated. Complicated as in not easy to do. I'm not crunching my toes. I'm relaxing, and I'm pressing my big toe like an index finger. I just press it into the ground with the muscles in the foot. I gently open my knees, and there's my arch. Most people are pretty weak in here and weak on the big toe. So, a couple of things. I just am like, I'm leaning on my legs. So I want you to see that. So you can just lean on your legs like that. Okay. So, pull my toes up, put my toes down. You can just watch TV, you can be on the internet, do that. Wake your feet up in a way. Now, I don't want your heels in real far, don't want your heels out real far. I want them straight ahead at first. So right now I'm making them straight ahead, and then I slightly turn my big toe out about half an inch or an inch. And that, you may find that very hard to do. Your feet being straight ahead and then turning out your toes just a little bit, that's hard to do. The reason I don't keep my toes straight ahead is it's going to ultimately be bad for the knee. And they do this in yoga, and if they would just turn the big toe out a little, it would really be anatomically more advantageous to the knee. Big toe planted, open the knees up. That right there, if I open too far, look what's happened. I don't have the strength to keep that big toe on the floor. So I went too far, okay? So I put my big toe down, I open my knees. You can do this lying down too. Like I tell people you can do this in bed. Mm-hmm. So like if I was in bed or on the floor, I can put my big toe down. Well, I should do it like this kind of. But play like I'm lying down. I put my big toe down, I let my knees open, and I don't go so far that my foot comes up. This is actually how I taught it a lot a long time ago to young kids, to usually little volleyball girls who have way knock knees or way out. Plant their toe, open their knee, keep the big toe down. And you can lie down. I'm just looking up to make sure you can see it. Okay, that's a big deal right there. That right there, it looks small, but it's a really, really big deal. Okay, let's go over some shoes. So these are Kung Fu shoes. These are Wushu shoes. These are martial arts shoes. I'm going to tell you, it's one of the greatest deals out there is martial arts shoes. They don't cost a lot, and they're really kind of fun. So you can go on martial arts website. These are just shoes I got, I think they're Petco or PetSmart had a little thing where you have dogs on them. But see how minimal they are? So what's a minimal shoe? That's what I should say. What's a minimal shoe? Minimal shoe is there's not a lot under here. They call it zero drop a lot of times. It's not elevated. And here's what's real important to me. Does it bend? So people say, do you love Birkenstocks? I don't really love them because they don't bend. And I need, for my foot, it needs to bend. It needs to bend. How am I going to use my foot if it doesn't bend or my ankle doesn't bend? I'm going to show you an ankle exercise in a minute. If I don't have that, how can I use the muscles in my feet? So you've seen me talk about this over and over, structure governs function. Well, if my structure's not working, if my structure doesn't work, then if I have limited structure and my feet are doing this and my ankles don't bend, well, how do I use the muscles in my feet? It's that simple. These are New Balance running shoes. They say, they're the Vibram bottoms. I've had them for years. I love them. They have a wide toe box. I'm a big fan of wide toe boxes. Some people have really thin feet, so they tend to have to pick things like, these are beat up, but these are Merrells. I would say most of my clients with narrow feet like Merrells, Merrell, Merrell Vibram bottoms. I mean, I've been doing this for so many years that I found that if you go to REI, you can always take them back if you don't like them. So I kind of push the REI thing. Look at this. Beep, beep, see? They bend. I'm a big fan of bend and flat. There it is. It's not complicated. When I say it's not complicated, my point to this is that you really do need to just do it, and you need to do a small amount of it. So I'm going to show you one more exercise for the ankles, okay? And when you're sitting, because I find that people really do not understand how much their ankles are an important part of walking. Because if my ankles don't bend, and people lose range of motion in their ankle in dorsiflexion, which I'll show you, a lot. I can't make that bigger, so if you can make that bigger, that'd be great. So,
Let's see if I can.
we're just going to do something for a second. It's not going. All right, so hold this, please. Thank you. We're just having a little tech difficulty today. All right, here's the exercise for the foot. It's real complicated, right? No. You just tap your toes and you will wear out. It's this muscle right here is the anterior tibialis, okay? And it gets really tired. And why is this great? Because you don't bring your foot up a lot when you walk. Most people don't. They get real stiff. Do about 30 of those, relax, forget about it. Do another 30, relax, forget about it. My point is, you will be amazed at how much better you will walk if you do this. This exercise, toe taps, and the one where you plant your toe and open your foot. Those seem very small, and they are, but remember, your feet are very sensitive to quick and big changes. I'm not into big and quick and big changes. Get out of your shower, go barefoot more around the house. Do toe taps. If nothing else, do toe taps. Use your feet in comfortable, safe places. Possibly buy some minimal shoes. If you are like, no way, I wear Hokas, then slowly find some minimal shoes, wear them around the house, split the time between your Hokas and not. If you have arch supports and you have orthotics, then spend some time in your orthotics and out of your orthotics. But don't rush yourself out of your orthotics ever, ever, ever. That's really just a setup for problems. So I don't push it. I would need to work with you a little more on some technical things to move you out of orthotics, literally an online session, because that's something I really respect. If you have a PT or someone who has put you in orthotics and you're a lot better, but you don't want to be in them, I have helped people to wean themselves off of orthotics for the same reason they need to use their feet. But I do it carefully and I take it seriously. Okay? That's that. So do we have any questions?
We have some.
Okie dokie. Pokey.
First one, Harry in Phoenix. So what is wrong with the Hoka? Is it the heel?
It's just you're elevated. It's the Hoka elevates you off the ground. There's like the whole sole is I don't know, inch or two. I have no idea how thick that sole is. When your feet do not touch the ground and you are elevated off of the ground, you do not have the same relationship with your ankle and your foot to reality. Meaning, you should go try this. Do not take my word for it. You go walk around without a Hoka on, and then you walk around with Hokas on. And Hokas are cushy. It's like the big cushy couch. Wow. This is great. But the problem with the big cushy couch is it doesn't give you the correct, honest stimulus you need in sitting to make you more aware and move better. Hokas make your feet kind of dumb. Now, I've talked to an elite runner, and he used Hokas in certain distant running he did because he needed to run faster, and a Hoka did not ask his heel to hit the ground and go up. So there was this biomechanical reason that it made him run faster, and he only used them for certain things. So I am not saying there's not a place for Hokas. I don't know. I'm not that, savvy on all the running world and all those things anymore. My point is, when you live in Hoka, you will dummy down your balance over time, because your ankle and foot is a very big integral part of the way you move and your balance and ability to have strong feet and legs.
Charlene in Tucson says, I've been told I have flat feet all of my life.
Yeah.
How can I change that?
Okay, the one that I showed you, where you plant your big toe and bring your knees out, all right? That will build an arch. I'm going to show you in standing right now again. This is going to be a little more complex. My husband's going to hold the computer. I've seen it happen a million times. It works, but it's subtle. So I set my feet up straight ahead. I turn my toes slightly out. And I teach this in a lot of my videos. Without locking my knees, I put the weight back in my heel. I plant my big toe. Now watch this. My upper thighs turn out. The arch is built by the hip. If I turn my thighs out too much, what happens is my feet come off the ground. But there is the arch. I put my big toe down, I turn my thighs out, because that is how an arch is built, from the hip relationship to the foot. That's the best I can do quickly to show you. Just go practice and see what happens.
Pierre in Chicago asks, I have arthritis in my big toe and I can't lift it too high when you're asking us to raise our toes. What should I do? Keep planted?
What you should do, because I know someone close by me who has arthritis in his big toe, you need better ankle range of motion. So for you, I would spend more time doing my toe taps, and it should not bother your big toe when you do toe taps, because if this was my foot and this was my ankle, toe taps are really good for ankle mobility, okay? And I have stretches on my website on my YouTube channel showing you how to move your hips better, because when you have better hip mobility, better ankle mobility, it will not tick off that arthritic toe. Because you have to understand, here's your arthritic toe. If I don't have ankle motion or knee or hip motion, I'm just playing like this is a hip and this is an ankle and this is a big toe. If one of these guys is not moving well, like this hip or this ankle, then my big toe has to take all that pressure. Just think of it as we're distributing the range of motion through the hip and the knee and the ankle, so that big toe doesn't get bad.
Shar in Flagstaff asks, give me a brand I can look up to buy martial arts shoes.
I don't, honestly, just look up martial arts. I'm going to be really honest with you. I don't remember.
Okay.
They're kind of, they're random names. I don't have one that I use. I go martial arts, Google, boom. You'll see these. You could see these. And there will be other ones that are flat. Pretty cool looking.
We have time for one more question, and that's Sherry and Paige.
Okay.
And she says, I've seen some people tape their arches. Mm-hmm. What does it do, should I?
Well, I tape arches, but I have to show you how to do it. And I have a lot of great experience in taping arches. But that is a private session I have to do with you to do it right. And
what does it do?
Okay, that's good. I'm sorry. Taping an arch causes the person, the way I tape an arch, okay, I gotta say that. The way I tape an arch is it kind of acts like a natural orthotic. I lift the arch slightly with the tape, so there's less pressure in the foot in areas where people often hurt. And it also biomechanically shifts the body into a more balanced state. Problem with typing arches, as I did for my sister, she didn't do any of her exercises. She just leaned into that. I'm busting her right now. So anyway, she said, I think I leaned into that too much. The problem with it makes people feel good real fast, but they don't do the things to build the arch naturally. It can take pressure off of sore feet. It can help with plantar fasciitis. It can help you walk better. It's kind of like a natural orthotic. It buys you time, lets you use your foot. So if you want to work with me, that is one of those things that you have to connect with me. Just go through my website, McCallMethod.com. I love working with feet. I love it. It's not a difficult thing, but it can be a very painful, problematic thing for people. And so just know that once you address a few issues, most of the time, you can just make this thing go away. I can't think of a time actually that I haven't helped somebody get out of pain. I'm sure there has been one, but I would say I'm very successful at helping people with that just because of my background of barefooting. So, have a good one. I'll see you next week. Sorry, all the technical difficulties. Subscribe, share, and what else do you do? I don't remember.
You share, you subscribe, and you like.
You like. See you later, alligator.